Hey guys, welcome to the Outside Man podcast where we talk all things rugby league. How are we all going, guys?
We are all going.
Not happy.
Are you not happy?
Does this look like the face of someone whose team scored 50 points, ended another team's season, and has won 4 on the trot? No, I'm not happy.
Who do you support?
Cows.
You should be happy.
I'm a bit,
Why are you not happy?
I am a bit happy. For those listening on Spotify, I had an angry face on. It was pretty grumpy.
I'm not happy. I've got an angry face, but I'm smiling.
Yep, and how are you, Matt?
I'm great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you why I'm wearing a fishing shirt later too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll do that in the controversy corner.
Controversy
Ooh.
corner.
But if you are watching on
Controversial
YouTube,
fishing.
Make sure you like and subscribe to the page. We're still on 61 subscribers.
share it around. Do us a solid too if you've just clicked on and you don't really like it. Just let it play out in the background anyway.
Yeah.
'Cause that really helps us out with the algorithm. And
Help a
Spotify.
fella out.
Same with Spotify. Hit that follow
Yeah.
button and listen to our nonsense.
Yeah. I noticed that the views went down last week. Was that because I wasn't here?
I think so. It's
Yeah.
a direct correlation.
There was people tuned in,
Yep.
bang, and left. And they're like, where's Jed?
Yeah.
Why is Jed not?
We were asking the same question, weren't we? Where's Jed?
Yeah.
Well, you guys didn't.
We actually were
Where
asking
was
Jed
Jed?
was.
But you guys
know
didn't
were.
actually let me know last week.
We
Well.
did. Posted everywhere.
Well, we did.
Don't open that one.
Oh boy, that's controversy corner right there.
Anyway,
Alright.
oh well, that's a good segue.
Right.
No.
It was a pretty smooth weekend of footy. Or should we
Yeah.
just skip straight to the results?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I
there were a
don't
couple of
think there was
sin bins,
any-
were there?
Nah.
Hey,
Okay.
on the
Okay.
bright side, on the bright
Alright.
side,
Let's talk about it.
no one got
I'm
sent off.
confused.
No
No one got
Okay.
sent off. Look, it's a joke.
Yeah.
The state of the... Look, at the end of the day, for those watching and those listening, our controversies are going to be very similar tonight, I'm imagining, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
the whole sport.
It was a joke. I am, in terms of the fact that I do have a bee in my bonnet about the NRL from this weekend. And I don't honestly know where to start. Like, I don't know where to start. Someone help me, please. I don't know where to
Okay,
start. I'm angry.
here's-
I'm frustrated.
Here's my first one. I'm just going to go with, to start off with, who's in charge. The ref is there. One call, they set it up saying, I don't believe there was high contact. Can we check the rest of it? And then the bunker's like, no, there's high contact. Like, if the on-field ref needs to be in charge.
I'll go a step further and
First
say, who's in charge overall? Because we keep hearing the NRL want to crack down on this. The NRL have said this. The NRL have done that. The NRL advised the bunker to make these calls this weekend. Who is the NRL? Is it Todd Greenberg? No, it's not because he's in soccer at the moment, or cricket. Is it Peter V'landys? Is it Abdo? Elbow's the prime minister. Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We don't know who it is.
Because they're hiding behind this facade of we're the NRL, making these calls, making these decisions, destroying the fabric of the game, ruining games, and just coming out and saying, if you've got an immortal of the game, everyone probably has seen Andrew John's, it's been plastered everywhere. If you've got an immortal of the game as frustrated as what he was on public TV,
Yeah.
there's something seriously wrong.
Yeah, I just read that he walked out of the commentary box.
Really?
Yeah, 3/4 with about 15, 20 minutes to go in the game yesterday.
So 18 sin bins this weekend, and I'd say
Only 7 of those charged, like with
Yeah.
missing matches.
yeah.
They're all Bulldogs.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
Quickly.
just quickly,
Just quickly.
Jerome Little Eyes received a head high, and he's gone down on the ground and he's milked it something shocking. The opposing player gets 10 in the bin, and I'm like, how is this possible? He's just made out like he's been knocked out and carrying on like a pork chop to get the other guy put in the bin. And then no longer did I think that thought, then he got sent for HIA, and I'm like, haha, he got ya.
Yeah.
The
But
level of inconsistency right now.
Yeah, because I looked at like yesterday's game with the Sharks. Like there was one there, it was just a head, like there was nothing in it, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? And then Tupanua, I think it was for the Bulldogs on Friday night, bloody
Needs someone in there.
Twice.
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 And he didn't get anything. No, not in the bin.
My thing is, the NRL have said, all right, if anyone makes contact with the head, we'll bin them. That'll fix
Yeah.
this. That'll stop players going for the head, right? That'll fix it by binning everyone. How can you fix something that is a mistake from not even a mistake? It's for example, the Scott Sorensen one where Nathan Brown came running off the back fence from the kickoff. What is Sorensen supposed to do? And how is the NRL going, sin bins will fix this problem? Sin bins won't fix it because I would say out of the 18 sin bins, 15 of them, rough number, I'd say majority of them were completely accidental and barely any contact at all.
Yeah.
Unavoidable
Agreed.
is my point. It's a contact spot!
The Scott Sorensen one,
Where was he meant to go?
there was no charge. It was a shoulder charge. He was just bracing to get smashed. If he stucks out his arm, he breaks his arm.
And he couldn't anyway. He was jammed in.
There was nothing, and his other arm was out.
And then, if he goes low, he gets completely knocked out.
Yeah.
So
What? No one's answering my question.
No.
What is sin bins sending players to the sin bin going to do to fix?
Well, in this situation, it's not really doing anything because a lot of the people,
They're all
players,
accidents.
commentators, viewers, don't understand what the binning was for.
And
then what is the definition of moderate forceful contact?
Yeah.
Like, it's so open to interpretation.
Like-
And that's what's happening. Like, the ref on the field is not calling it. Like, was it Casey Badger? On the week?
It was
Belinda Sharp.
yeah.
She missed one, and then they called it 2 minutes. The game had gone on for 2 minutes, and the bunker said, "Oh, you got to send old mate off because he was head high."
Someone said today that they think if they do it 2 minutes later, they should only have 8 minutes of sin
Yeah, I
bin.
said that.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, I said that.
That was yesterday. Oh, that was a good
Yeah.
point, mate.
Yeah.
So if they do that, the sin binning should start from the time of the offence, because then that whole 2 minutes has just been wasted.
It's ruining games. It's not just the 10 minutes that it's ruining games for. It's the 10 minutes plus the energy effect it has on the team that are down to 12 players. And we saw that with the Titans. Like, the Cows lost one first, but then the Titans lost two. By the end of the game, they were cooked. And it's ruined. 10 minutes is so long. It is such a long time for a player to be off the field for something that these players can't control. There are some of them that can be controlled, but a lot of these hits, some of the players didn't even know. Like, they were getting called out, going, "What did I do?" Like the naughty kid in school when they're getting called, "I didn't do anything." Like, what did I do wrong? It's a joke.
It's really got to be like for like. If the head contact was hard enough to force the attacker to do a HIA, then that the defender goes to the bin, because that's even then. But when they're getting slapped in the face, like literally, it was last weekend. Who was it? One of the Titans slapped, literally just went like that in their game.
That was
Slapped him and got put in the bin.
This one, they went to the
last
bin for.
weekend.
That's why
Wasn't
I-
the Sharks
That's why I
game.
was harping up.
Yeah.
You couldn't understand.
But then this week, some games guys are getting like the slapped in the face, and the penalty is sufficient. Then you got Tupanua who like knees the guy in the head. I think that was because he was attacking and not defending,
Yeah.
mainly. But still, it should have been something. Like, the guy's looking at 8 weeks
Yeah.
so.
in the match review the
I've-
match review committee.
I've paid a couple $100 to go and watch Saturday and Sunday's Magic Round this weekend, right? I've paid to go and see players do what they do. It's like you go to the supercars to watch the drivers race their cars. I've paid my money, which literally is the reason the NRL exists, because all of us pay our money, KO, Foxtel, not sponsored, we pay our dollars to go and watch the product, but the bosses of the product are pulling bits and pieces of the product out and going, well, you're not going to be able to watch them, you're not going to be able to... I'm paying, without me paying my dollars and us, you don't have a product, NRL.
Yeah.
And I know
Goes back to park
Landis
footy.
watches this on Wednesdays, so
Nice.
Peter, fix it.
Well, for the first... No, that's not even legit in that part.
Oh.
Yeah. you go.
I just want to say, for the first time, I'm even starting to lose a bit of interest in the game.
Oh.
That's a big call for you, Jed.
Yep.
Is that because the Roosters are down the bottom of the ladder too?
No,
Well, the Roosters won.
just... Yeah, the Roosters won. But I'm just saying, like,
It's frustrating.
it's frustrating, and it's like, what's the point of watching the game?
Like, I'm anxious about going to the game this weekend. Going, I don't want to leave Suncorp Stadium frustrated after I've paid. Like, it's not just $100. Like, we're staying overnight too. Like, we're spending a lot of money to go and watch this product,
Yeah.
and there's the chance that we walk away frustrated because it's. I don't think it will. We've heard
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
We've heard today
So-
there's going to be some changes.
That's my problem, and I remember now. Why is this happening midway through season?
Yeah.
Why is this not an end of the year review? Hey, this is what we're going to do, like they did with the ball stepping over thing.
They've always had an issue with head high tackles, right?
And they
Remember
always do something in the middle of the
Yeah,
year.
like the Magic round a few years ago.
the magic head, yeah.
But then why did they not, refine this new procedure?
They keep
Because they're
on-
doing it for player health and safety, right? Because they got players that are getting concussion after concussion. Radley's one of them.
So they are
Ponga.
all defensive concussions.
So how do you fix that then?
So
Sin
they're
Binnings won't
not
fix it.
not high tackles. So
Yeah.
60% of concussions, is that right?
Gus said something. There's a stat, and this was a while ago. It wasn't recent, Gus. It was probably last year, Gus. He came out and said there's a larger percentage of concussions that happen from the player going to make the tackle, not the player getting tackled. So it's like what you're trying to fix a problem that's not the actual problem. It's
Well, it also changes tackling techniques, right? So a lot of you go one high, one low, right? And a lot of players will actually go over the shoulder of the top. But there was tackles on the weekend that got penalised for that, for head contact, when it was just a straightforward tackle. There was that one on the Penrith player, I think it was Sorensen.
Yeah.
He
What's
got
he
tackled by
supposed to
two guys, not his.
the one
He was attacking.
Yeah.
And he got tackled over the top like that. She's called head high. They reviewed it, and it was no head contact at all.
Do you know?
So she reviewed it on field. They
remember
said,
that.
"Oh, captain's challenge that. There's no."
And there wasn't any
Yeah.
contact.
And then you got Pappenhausen's one from the Storm game,
Oh.
where he thought he was in the wrong, so he's put a captain challenge up, and then he's ended in
He's
the bin.
in the bid. He literally challenged himself into
That was the worst captain's challenge ever. I haven't seen a worse
The
one.
worst part about this is that it's drawing so much attention away from the rest of the game. They're missing simple things like blatant forward passes that lead directly to tries, and then the 40-21 in the Penrith game where it wasn't a 40-20, he actually got the ball back in. The touchy was granted 30 metres down the field, but just little things like that we're missing because they're so focused on... And then any player that runs it, Jed could have been out there, and if he ran up with the ball, he might not even had the ball. If he threw his head back and went, the ref was going to blow a penalty. That's what was happening.
And I'll quickly say, as well, the refereeing standard has been dismal.
Especially in the Penrith
Yeah,
game.
it
It was. And I know
Yeah.
it was the female ref. There's nothing. I think she's a really good ref. But there was no control in that game. Like it was
The refs
bad.
would also be copping a flogging too, like under pressure like nothing else.
So this is
It's not their fault.
the problem. It's not because half of them were decent refs before this.
Yeah.
It's because they have been told to look for this one particular thing, to overreact to one particular thing, and while they're doing that, they are missing so many other things.
Yeah, and it also detracts from the actual game, like the good, like Cow's game. They were all over the Titans. We'll talk about that in a minute, but you don't remember stuff like that because you're so fixated on the issues that there was. You don't actually remember that how solid their ball playing was,
Or like the Broncos playing amazing dry weather footy in wet weather.
Yeah.
It's forgotten about because
Broncos
of everything else
just
that's happened.
blew the Bulldogs away.
In
Absolutely
wet
blew
weather,
them away.
pouring rain.
But then you're like, okay, well, this in and
You don't remember it.
all these sin bins and Tupanua kicking old mate in the face twice, Cobbo.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll have a quick break, you reckon?
Yeah, let's have a quick
I need
break.
to cool
and-
down.
Yeah, let's have cool down, have a drink, and see you after these commercials.
Messages.
All right, so we'll get into this week's round.
We will.
First game of the weekend was Broncos 42 against the Dogs 18. Now, did anyone pick this?
I tipped them.
Yep.
I did.
I should have.
I tipped the Dogs. I changed.
The
Well,
Dogs had their grand final a week before.
Yeah.
That
You
was
reckon
a
they're done?
big.
They're going to lose every game now.
No, I think that was just a really big game, and I think they come up to Suncorp probably.
Just expecting to just go through them?
Yeah, I think they just. Well, they didn't have the effort that they had.
Yeah.
The Broncos really came out and hammered them.
I thought it was an old school ambush.
You know what it was? It was Reece Walsh wasn't playing.
Yeah.
Gobbo was good.
Cobbo was great. He's a good guy. He's a
Origin
player.
good.
So do you think...
Yes, I've got a controversial opinion about
Go.
that. Do
Let's
you
hear
want-
it.
Now?
Let's
Yep.
hear it now. No time like yesterday.
Alright, theory. Cobbo is going to have an absolute blinder of the next 5 weeks while Reece is out. And he's going to get picked for fullback for Queensland State of Origin.
Mm.
Yeah.
Billy won't do it. You know why? Because Cobbo doesn't have ball playing skills. He's not a ball player like Reece Walsh or Kalen Ponga. So Queensland's methodology when it comes to Origin is they've got your 6 and your 7, and it used to be JT and Cronk, and Slater would ball play as well. He's your third option. Cobbo can't do that, and it completely goes against everything Billy Slater stands for. So
That's
as
why
much
it's a controversial opinion.
yeah, no, I'm controversially rebutting it, going I don't
We'll
think
see.
it'll happen.
Yep. Can I just ask a quick question, though?
I
Sure.
would like that.
Do you think
As
that...
long as it's quick.
I always say that. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't be sorry, Jen.
Do you think the Broncos made the right call in re-signing Reece Walsh? Cobbo is out of contract at the end of next year and is commanding more money.
At the time, they did make the right decision, I feel.
But now, looking back,
Reece Walsh is still a superstar.
He's a superstar,
And he will come good again, too.
Like every player has poor.
I
Has
think
poor
It was Origin when he got smashed, really.
he's just scared or something.
From
and
that hit.
Cautious,
He
I'd say.
just needs something.
yeah.
I
But
don't
I,
know what it is.
I feel
That's
like
why
he's
I'm not a
going to
coach.
be the Anthony Milford. Was
No,
great.
No. He's already
Milford and Walsh. You can't compare the two.
But remember, Milford was an absolute star. back in-
Milford was sensational.
He
He
was
paid $1
sensational.
million.
he played one game of State of Origin off the bench, and I'm not saying Milford. He was I wouldn't say superstar. He's a phenomenal player, Milford. But Reece Walsh is a completely.
Milford? I thought he was a
Would you
superstar.
say he's more like Darius Boyd then?
If Milford was a superstar, he would have gone on to do things that superstars do. Milford wasn't a superstar. He was a phenomenal player. You can't have him in the same category as Andrew Johns, Jonathan Thurston, Greg Inglis, Billy Slater. Is that what you're saying? Because that's what a superstar
Sorry,
is.
you can't say Reece
Yeah,
Walsh.
you can't say that.
You can't
Reece
say
Walsh-
Reece Walsh is in that situation yet.
He's on the way to being what those guys were.
I'm saying Anthony Milford was on the way,
But he didn't get there.
Yeah.
but the Broncos destroyed him.
No, disagree.
They destroyed him.
Carl.
They took him out of fullback and tried
Good
to
one,
make him
Jed.
solve all their problems. They definitely did.
Anthony Milford was coached really well by Wayne Bennett. That's why he became the player he was.
No, he was at Canberra and he was coached well at Canberra.
No, he was a good player at Canberra,
He was a great
but
player
he
at Canberra.
came to the Bronx and Wayne Bennett got the best out of him. That's what happened. But you can't.
And then they moved him and destroyed and tried to put everything
I think
on
we've
his
gone
back.
away. We've gone away from the argument. What are you guys saying?
I don't know.
Are you saying that Anthony Milford is is Reece Walsh is as good as Anthony Milford, or Milford was better. What are you saying, Jed?
Jed's saying that the Broncos destroyed Anthony Milford. Are they going to destroy?
That's not what Jed. That's not what you said.
No, he
right?
said, was it a
That's
good
what
signing?
We talked
Worth
about
money.
signings. This is what happens. You
Oh,
guys are
that's
getting
what happened.
cloudy with this.
All right.
Callan, I think you need a Mars bar.
No. Wait, go back to what you said.
He was a great signing, and I agreed with you at that point that yes, he is a great player, and they should have re-signed him. I don't think Cobbo comes close.
Yeah. Anyway,
Walsh.
the game, the Broncos were absolutely outstanding. I'll admit that.
And the Bulldogs got many head highs.
3 sin bins. Looks like Burton's going to be out for 1 or 2 weeks.
1 week burden.
Tupanua's,
5.
yeah, has he already pled?
Wait,
They
he did
already
2
had the
things.
thing.
Yeah.
And then, who was the other one?
Montoya.
Montoya.
What I will say is
Okay.
that you get all these Bronco supporters that go on about, oh, look at our big win, look at our big win. Bulldogs won the second half, 18-6 or whatever it was.
But it was over.
So I think my gripe with your thing about Milford is because you hate the Broncos so much that I was going to be like, sit down. This is coming from your hate for the Broncos.
Callum had already
That's why I was
decided he was
standing up, and
against
I'm not a
it.
Broncos fan. That's why I was sitting you back down
Yeah.
in your chair going, settle down, Jetty.
Now,
I thought you had to settle
the
down.
Bulldogs did well to keep it in check the second half, yes.
I think what we've seen, what has happened a lot this season, with Melbourne in particular, is they've gotten out to big leads and teams are just shutting down at halftime.
Well, it's the even up factor too. Penalties, and did we find even penalties in the...
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Penalties conceded
Oh, they
were
can't tell you the time.
8-8. Ruck infringements were 2-0. Not really. I mean, they were equal, but it doesn't tell you when.
6 players on report for the Dogs.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
But I think
So the Dogs lost 30 minutes of playing with a full team.
Sin bins. Yeah,
Yep.
literally. Yeah.
So
Which is worth 22 points.
Game was over at halftime. Right?
It's worth 22 points. I'm not going to ask you how we did that. Anyway,
Let's
moving
not
on
go there. Move
to
on.
the next game, which is the...
Sorry, Jace.
I should have...
too quick on the
Oh,
transition.
Bruce-
Roosters
should know
and
this.
Dragons.
I was trying to just get away from that.
46-18.
This was a good game.
Yes.
It was a bit hard fought in the first half, but then probably in the first 10 minutes of the first half, really.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with how we played. What I will say though is that the Dragons, they had us caught out a couple of times, especially on the edges, and they never went there. And what I will also say is that I know they've got King Gutho there, but Tyrone Sloan, his best position is fullback.
No one disagrees with that, but he's not a good fullback yet.
Yeah.
He needs to learn.
Yeah, I just think that they're missing that.
His defence is nowhere near where it needs
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah, and I think
So
like
they're doing the right thing. It's a bit like, with the Roosters and all the millions of great
Yeah.
fullbacks they've had. Bring them on the wing, give them a chance.
But yeah, Sandon Smith, man of the match. I was actually calling for his head before the
He
game.
was so good.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I
It
was.
was great from a super coach.
How did he get man of the match? Didn't he go in the bin?
Yeah, he went to the bin.
He went to the bin and he still got man of the match.
He still got man of the
That's
match.
how good he was.
Wow.
But I think going back to the Gutho chat, like we chatted last week on the podcast about how consistent Gutho is in his leadership, and he might not be setting the world alight with his attack at the moment, but Tyrell Sloan definitely has potential, that's for sure. Nothing really stats wise to talk about.
No, it was a good game.
It was kind of even
Yeah.
level pegging in terms of like mistakes and missed tackles. And
I think I watched. Yeah, I watched it by myself.
23 to 27.
Yeah.
Good win by the Roosters.
Yeah.
You
Didn't
were
quite-
invited.
Did you
Oh,
cut-
was I?
Yeah, we were talking on Messenger, and I said, come around. You're like, oh, okay, I'll see, I'll go.
Oh,
Probably
I think
didn't
I had
really.
an afternoon nap and then.
Oh,
fell
there we go. Alright, second game,
Up the wires!
Warriors Knights. Good game.
How
Yeah.
bad at Newcastle?
I think they've scored like 20 points in the last 4 games.
They've had-
I've lost interest with Newcastle. I don't even bother watching their games.
Won't tell him you said that.
What's the name? Adam O'Brien. Seriously, that bloke Like, I thought Todd Payton was a bad coach. This guy is next level.
He's just on a rampage tonight, Jed, isn't
He
he?
is.
Do you know Adam McBride? Didn't he come from the Roosters coaching staff?
Yes, he is. It doesn't matter. He can't coach.
No, they let him go. They didn't need him. I'm going to agree with Jed more times than I have ever in my life.
They are bad.
It's got to be coaching now. It's got to be. Like, they just keep swapping these halves around. They can't find consistency. They're swapping the hookers around. Some weeks Brayley's their hooker. Some weeks it's Crossland.
They don't have a
bench.
Who's their 7? Their best 7 is Jackson Hastings, but they won't play him because no one likes him. Adam O'Brien's job is secure because they have to pay him a $2 million payout if they sack him.
Yeah.
There's all these things going against them. That the team in attack look lethargic.
I know they have front row issues, but it's more than that.
Yeah. But strangely enough, their defence is the 4th best in the competition. One thing to say as well is no one is talking about the Warriors. You know how we had our top 4 chat a couple of weeks ago? Was it last week? Who is the top 4? The Warriors have been top 4 for the last 5 weeks and no one's talking about them. They just keep winning games. The Cows have them this week and it's like, I don't know if we can beat them.
Hey, I did predict the Warriors in my top 4.
There you go, Jed.
You know, like...
You also predicted that the Panthers won't make the 8. Even more.
Hats off to you, Jed.
That's looking even more likely than ever before.
Oh, no. I must be a good person.
But you can't get your tips right, though.
Yeah, I can't get my
Week
tips right. Hey, I got 2 right this weekend, so...
So, yeah, Warriors are up and up. Knights are
Down and
down. Prices are down.
Analysis.
Storm Rabbitohs, the last game. Now, can I just say, it was Anzac round. Every game had the Anzac...
yeah.
Is it a celebration? No. What's the...
Ceremony.
Ceremony.
On a moment, kind of.
On a moment?
I don't know.
Melbourne Storm
They do it the best.
really did a great job. Really emotive. Really passionate about veterans and our armed forces and whatnot. So it was really good display. So yeah, shout out for Melbourne for that one.
The first thing that I'll say is that I think that South Sydney need to cut their losses with Latrell Mitchell. It's like every couple of weeks he does something stupid.
Yeah.
Like gets himself in the bin.
It's the best player in every team you're going to cut.
You're literally...
Are they all going to the Bears?
Is Latrell the best player on their team though?
Yeah.
When
He's such a liability.
When he's in form,
when
he
he's
is
in
a
form.
superstar.
You know, you've got Jai Gray who works outstanding.
He was awesome.
Yeah, I know, and like he's been playing in reserve grade. Like, what are you doing, South Sydney?
I thought I was
Jai Gray played on Friday night though.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
He was great.
He played 5'8".
He was great.
Well, there's someone in reserve grade that.
Someone played reserve grade. They shouldn't be there.
That's why we need more teams in the competition, Jed.
Turning to stats, Melbourne dominated, but Melbourne, I kind of expected them to really
Play
pull
better.
away with this, but they are not. They're winning game. Well, they're not. They lost last week, but they still look like they're going to win the game, just not as dominant as what most people are expecting. I guess is the best way to put it.
I know that a lot of people have still got Melbourne as their premiership favourites, but I just don't see it.
Look at those missed tackles there. Just before you go, 48 missed tackles for Rabbitohs, 27 for Storm.
It was a wet kind of game. So maybe that had something to do with that, Matt? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
14 errors to Melbourne. They're not Melbourne-like, but you know Melbourne don't go away from Melbourne like footy for too long. Like
Yeah.
you'd hate to verse them this
They
week.
would have got blasted after last week,
Yep.
you know, and then they would have done their reviews, which would have been very awkward, and then worked on their mistakes.
Only 2 sin bins in this game.
Yeah, Pappy.
Pappy put himself in the bin.
Which Rabbitohs went off?
Latrell.
Latrell, yeah.
Oh, that's right, for Sewer.
Oh, so...
For our logo.
Yeah. No, I'll bring it up next.
Say it.
He had time to pull out.
No, he didn't.
I
He
did.
was fine. But I don't like, I forgot to say it earlier, I don't like the players falling in the line and then it hitting their arm and then that's a penalty. Their head hit. Like, if a player is falling into you and you're trying to tackle them, like, you just
Like,
can't do anything
You
about
get
that.
sin binned from getting headbutted on
Yeah,
the
you
arm.
got headbutted.
Yeah.
Really, that's what happens.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what happened to
And-
Bo Firma last week.
Yes.
And even I'll admit, like with Teddy, every time he gets the ball back, he falls into the
He
tackle.
runs in, yeah.
He runs in.
They do it.
But also Teddy, when he runs, he crouches and he crabs.
Yeah.
And so
okay.
it's more susceptible to getting...
Well, you know,
Like,
Gus
yeah.
Gould said like 60% of concussions are from defensive player.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to that, but
It was about that.
It was about
60 or 100%.
No,
something
chuck
like
it on the gram.
Matt, do you want to take us through the next game?
Not particularly.
Oh, no.
Saturday, Cowboys, Titans. Cowboys were outstanding. Titans just looked like they had no idea what they were actually doing.
You did for about...
They had some great defence in spots. Like, we held out, saved 2
Yeah, I
tries.
remember messaging going, that was incredible.
Couple of
Jalen Group
NFL
had some
passes.
really good runs, but then he dropped a couple as well.
Weren't the Titans up 12-0?
16-6. 18-6. They were.
18-6.
Just,
The first 30 minutes was good. And your
first-
completion rate was good.
yep. They're just not, I don't know, they weren't tackling the the offloads killed us. Like, if you go down to offloads, if it shows it there, their offloads killed us. 15 offloads to 6. The Cows were just not afraid to move the ball around. They were jumping all over the place. They broke the Titans line up. The defence was terrible. There you go, 48 missed tackles for the Titans, 18 for Cows, which is pretty much a perfect game, really.
Yeah, I think
in
we
regards
discussed
to
like
his tackles.
10 to 20 is about normal for a game.
But even look at ineffective tackles, 21 ineffective tackles versus 10. You know, you can't win games with those sorts of numbers.
And now, like,
It-
we made more errors.
It's so frustrating because on paper, the Titans have a good team. They've got great players. I think like there's a couple of young guys that are coming in, like Weaver, Chris Randall. They're good, but they're not consistent enough. And
Yeah.
obviously, you know, Weaver's not our starting 7. JC is, but he's out injured. So we don't have Foran back because he's injured.
And the Union guy that you bought, Carter.
Yeah, Carter
he never
Gordon's still
played
out,
the game.
so he hasn't even played yet. I think
Yeah.
he might be having a run with the
feeder.
one of the feeder
Yeah,
teams.
Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah,
look,
and-
like the Knights, this has to be a coaching issue because it's the same no matter who plays every
Well,
year.
but-
They change the coach. It gets good for a bit and then it's back to it. They
And
change players.
Tino's
It's
not
good
having
for a
an
bit.
impact anymore. He's turned into a numbers man rather than... He was scoring tries.
Yep.
I
They're,
think-
they're Dave Fafita, like what the third most expensive Titan, is starting off the bench. Like, and he's getting he played 60 minutes, but he came off the bench though.
I think it's a resilience thing. I think I heard them say a stat in commentary that they've now lost 8 games in the last 2 years when they've led by 12 points or more. They've been run down 8 times or something
Yeah.
like that. No other team has
It's
come
like-
close to that. And so what I think is happening is you're getting out to a lead, you're getting comfortable. I reckon the game shifted when it was 16-6. You had a penalty 25 metres out. You went for the 2 instead of going for more points. Where we were on our, you know, like we were up the creek. I reckon if you scored then, that would have been game over. And you went for the 2, and then from there, when we get a bit of ball and we score a try, I think the resilience is lacking in the Titans to be able to go, no, we can still... Exactly what the Cows did, being down by 12, I think the Titans lacked that, and you've seen it a little bit with the Titans this year already. You've given up leads, so...
I thought Nanai was really good, but
It's
he's...
coming up to Origin time, that's
Yeah,
why.
it's coming up to Origin.
Origin and Origin Gagai.
Yeah, his defence is still a little bit how you're going, I will admit. So he needs to...
He's on a new side though this year. He's playing left instead of right.
Oh, okay.
But his defence, yeah, you're right. Over the last few years, has been his weak point.
Yeah. Sorry. An interesting point in this game. The Purdue and who was the winger?
Murray, Talangi.
Talangi knocked each other out,
Yeah,
and only one of them went for HIA.
yeah. Well,
And
it's-
I thought Purdue was gone.
Well, because he had
He
that
stayed down.
shoulder. He had that AC shoulder.
He had the shoulder,
injury.
but in that bit when he went back and he was lying on the ground for a bit. So I thought that was interesting. I thought he should have gone, but obviously they did the doctor thing and cleared it. But I was sitting there thinking, wow,
Well, the
how are they going to
independent,
go without two?
yeah, the independent doctor only called off Murray.
Murray, yeah. He was clearly gone, but I thought Purdue was as well. But anyway, just an interesting note.
Yeah, I'm like, if you had told me back in round 3 when we were 0-3 and playing like bastards, that we were going to be sitting 6th on the ladder after round 8, I would have probably laughed at you because to win 4 on the trot plus a bye in there as well, which has helped. But yeah, I'm, as a Cows fan, definitely happy. The ability to score points, but I'm being most happy with our defence. We've kept teams to, I don't think we've let a team get past 20. Or if it has, it's not been by much. So I'm pretty happy with that.
All right, so the next game was Penrith getting defeated by Manly, and that was 26-10.
So, how come Cherry Evans can only play when Turbo's in the team?
Who knows?
He's supposed to be this gun halfback that everyone's chasing, but he can't play when Gutho's not there. When not Gutho, when Turbo's not there.
Yes, but what? But how many players in history have played well by themselves without another superstar?
Jonathan Thurston.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying there's not many.
Andrew Johns.
Well, yeah.
You're also talking immortals and potential immortal.
Yeah. So there's not many that can do it.
No, but he's supposed to be.
An immortal? Is that what you're saying? Is
Well,
Okay, let's talk about his price tag.
I'm saying he was the highest paid halfback in the game.
If you're on $1 million a season, you should be able to play without.
And
Is
he's
he
not
on
at
a
the
mil
Titans.
season? Yeah, he's on $1 million a season.
No, is it?
Yeah, that was his
Yeah.
contract.
Anyway, who would have picked
Season.
He didn't answer me.
that after 10 rounds or whatever we are?
Do you know who?
Who?
Jed.
You.
I said they'd be out of the top 8, but I was not predicting that they would be last.
So you got it wrong. No, good call, Jed. You actually nailed this. We'll talk about the ladder later on. But for them to be dead last, they're not even equal points. They are
Yeah,
dead last. Who did they? Oh, the Roosters they beat. Sorry, I didn't.
Yes.
I was trying to remember who they actually have beaten this season. It's
Yeah,
been
the
Sharks.
Roosters and the
Sharks and the Roosters. Sorry, guys.
Let's just hope they don't come good when they verse the Titans, eh?
Magic Round was a different place.
They just-
not Magic Round.
So what's going wrong?
They just look like they look tired. They look like they're struggling to deal with the pressure of being dead last, knowing that they're full-time premiers, and they're not playing the way Penrith have played the last 4 years in attack or defence. They look like a team where they've said, Nathan, you've got to pull us out of this, and are just going out there.
Well, realistically, they have been elite in the competition for the last 5 years.
You could almost say 6.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
they didn't win 2020. Oh, they won 2020, not 19.
No, 2020.
2020 they didn't.
19 they
Yeah.
made the finals, but
Yeah.
I think
So
this
20,
year.
21, 22, 23, 24,
Yeah.
and the finals in 19.
I
No,
find
19 they didn't.
didn't they?
No.
I thought they
Yeah.
did.
No.
I find it ironic though that now that they're not going as well, that their supporter base has fallen off a cliff.
Really? Where's your evidence for that?
Crowd numbers.
Crowd numbers at the game were huge, Dolphins Panthers.
They weren't at
No, they
Well,
are.
they-
Bank Stadium.
yeah,
it was
well,
14,000.
But it's in Parramatta.
Yeah, but they're not showing up. So that's also
Jason,
I'm saying they moved the stadium from in the middle of Penrith to out to Parramatta.
It's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's 20 minutes, yeah.
Jace did
Do you
say
know
on an
how
earlier
far
podcast
people? Do you know
they
how
don't
far
like driving.
people travel to Cowboys games? 3
They-
to 4 hours.
Yeah,
5
Yeah, but
hours.
they're
You gotta travel
country.
that far to milk. Getting milk. So it's not a like for like.
It's a
But
fair
yeah,
call.
like-
Penrith, I don't know why I'm defending them. I couldn't care less.
They're the four-time
Um,
premiers. They're the four-time premiers. They should have more than 14.
They shouldn't be at bottom.
It is a smaller
Realistically.
smaller region too, because Parramatta is right there.
I think
And-
Jed's point is like we've seen that many Panthers fans come out of the woodworks. Where are they now?
They
Yeah,
were-
and
I
now
was
it's
still wearing my Panthers hat on Sunday.
And now, just quickly, it's happening ironically with the Bulldogs. Like, you're seeing all these Bulldog supporters.
Yeah,
that-
where did those 85,000 West
They've come
Tigers
over.
supporters come from?
Yeah.
Can I say the Panthers needed their spine to be the same spine all year to actually make it click? I think that's where the problem is, and they've had Kenny out, they've had Edwards out, they've had a different 5/8 every third game. So I think once they all are there, and I think Kenny's a big part of this team now that they don't have the other guys.
Yeah.
Especially in defence.
And I'll say that Blaze Tiangi, he doesn't look, I don't know, like, he doesn't gel well with the team. Like, with Parramatta, he did when he was...
Yeah, but he hasn't
it's
played
his
with the
third
team. He had shoulder surgery.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't even
Third
do the
game.
off season.
And I think he's a fullback, personally. I don't think he's a 5'8".
There was lots of things in that game, like wasn't it Yo and Alamotti? Was it Alamotti that were in the tackle, and there was a head high, and Alamotti got sent off.
But it was Yo that hit
But
him.
it was Yo that hit him.
Yeah.
You know, and then it also had that 2 minute. They wound back 2 minutes for the
Yeah.
other one, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seagulls, where
up and up, baby.
Yeah.
are they?
Yeah, I've changed to.
Yeah, I think
Manly.
if they can stay fit, especially Tommy.
Stay with the Dogs.
It was their first win in 4 games.
Yeah, but like,
How's Turbo knocking that guy out with his hit and didn't even get penalised?
Well, it's because the NRL care a lot about head contact, but if it's from the knee of an opponent, it doesn't hurt them as much.
Oh,
That's
right.
why. If it's from someone's arm, it hurts them a lot. But if it's from a
right.
knee, no.
Okay.
His body parts.
He didn't even feel that. The player got hit by. He didn't even feel that.
Yeah,
Because it was from his leg.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sunday.
Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. I missed this game. Had to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Well,
But
the Dolphins look good.
What? For 60 minutes?
And then,
Ricky's Raiders. Hey.
Ricky's Raiders.
Controversial. Do you think referees are still refereeing because of the Ricky blow up that they've been copying in the press conferences?
Oh, they would have changed.
I've noticed a distinct difference. I'm not saying I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I honestly think referees are refereeing the Raiders differently since Ricky's press conference.
It happens. They
Yep.
did it. Warriors was the most evident one ever.
Yep.
Warriors, and then Broncos, and then the Raiders.
Is he a hitman or something? They're scared about.
I think he does it on purpose, and I think the Raiders are like, yep, get a fine, go out there and do it. We'll pay the fine, and then we'll get a few weeks of good calls.
Are they the real deal, the Raiders?
No.
Were they the better team though on Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah, I
By 12
think
points.
I think they're coming good though. I think they might surprise a lot of people.
That's another prediction that I said that
What?
Which one?
the Raiders are going to surprise a lot of people this year.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They
for that
surprised the
one.
You know,
Dolphins.
is this not the third prediction? That
This is.
Nostradamus.
Why are you mad about this?
I'm the Bermuda Triangle.
Are we gonna?
What? Bermuda
Are
Triangle.
we gonna go back to all of your wrong
Nostradamus.
predictions too?
Yeah. No, we don't talk about the wrong
So,
ones.
Sorry, yeah.
the Dolphins were all, look at me, I'm a Dolphin.
I'm a Dolphin.
And, but now, they've been...
Look at the
brought
run
back
meters.
to,
Both teams over, 1,600 meters.
that's a lot of line
1650 for Dolphins,
Completion
1780 for Raiders.
Herbie meters.
Completion rate wasn't great. Herbie meters. I love
Herbie meters.
He's in my Supercoach team. He's
I
awesome.
need him.
Let's have a look at
Missed
defense.
tackles.
Missed tackles 44. But that happens when you get 40 points put on you. So errors 10-5 to the Dolphins. Penalties conceded. Yeah, nothing.
Oh, look at that. Penalties are even. What a surprise.
Only one sin bin. Have you noticed this? That the interchanges are less.
Well, because of the HIA. And
'cause of the sin
send-offs,
bins.
Yeah.
That's
So,
interesting.
So if they go for HIA and they pass, does that count as an interchange?
no.
No, but you
Oh,
get
okay.
generally.
So it happened to Starling. He got hit, and it was like the 35th minute or 30th minute when he would have went off anyway, and he went off for a HIA and the other hooker came on.
Ah,
And I'm like, oh, now they don't have to use an interchange.
And
right.
that's not even conspiracy theory. Like, that is actually happening in games.
Yeah, so they don't need the interchanges because, he got hit in the head.
Remember when they first brought the HIAs in? Everyone was getting HIAs.
Yeah, no, right. At the 20-minute mark.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll just bring our next forward on.
Storm were the best at milking those.
Oh,
I remember because that infuriated me. Anyway,
Jace.
game of the round, game of the season.
It was
Do you need
game
to
of the
pause?
round.
No, we're good. We can keep going.
Yeah.
Game of the
We'll be
season.
quick because Jace doesn't want to talk about it. But can I just say, I tipped Sharks. I thought they were going to be the winners, and I was fuming because of all of the refereeing issues in this game. It just did not stop the whole game. But I was still on the edge of my seat because I was just willing the Sharks. They had so many opportunities to nail it, to finish the Tigers, but they didn't do it. Jace, what are your thoughts?
Never before have I ever turned a game off.
That's a big deal.
It was pretty bad. The
20
refereeing was
minutes
pretty
in,
bad.
Nico and Trindle were that bad, I just couldn't watch it anymore.
Yep, Nico lost
To
a
their
lot
credit,
of spots.
apparently they came back. We scored a try before half time. I flicked it back. Well, my son came and asked me if he could watch it. And I kept doing what I was doing. I came back to watch at 70-minute mark. To my delight, it was 18-all. And then I watched them bomb 17 chances.
Can I say though, just quickly, Will Kennedy, Dally M leader.
Still.
Of
by a
the
lot.
season.
So,
He was
how
great.
bad?
Explain it, Jace.
How bad is your team going that Will
No.
Kennedy is consistently
You don't
the
get
best
to the
player?
top of the Dally M leaderboard.
You don't fluke it.
being average.
You
He
are-
is a workhorse. I'm
You
telling
only
you.
He's a
get it if your
superstar.
team is crap. And you're
Oh,
the
right.
last man standing.
Um,
Hey, sorry, all credit, no, I need to say it. Will Kennedy, the last 3 weeks, has been unbelievable. And that's why I've been so mad. Because he can do it. He can do it. He chose not to. Now he did it. And I'll also say, in Golden Point, the last 10 minutes of the game, all we needed to do was run towards the sticks, take a tackle, and kick a field goal.
Yep.
And
And
they're
couldn't do
passing
it.
it left out to Talakai out near the centre somewhere.
You did it a couple of times. Yeah.
Fifth tackle
Over
options were
and
pretty
over.
average too.
And then Nico nearly kicked a 50-metre goal. And then they tried to do this funny thing where they passed it to Trindle, then passed it to Nico. We need to do something about this because obviously they can't close out a game. And it was the Tigers. Like, the Tigers weren't that good.
yeah.
They weren't great.
Do you reckon that the penalty in Golden Point was warranted?
Absolutely, 150%. His hand was on the ball.
Well, I said this to
and it
Jason
came
earlier.
out.
There's
That
no
was-
doubt in my mind that the attacking player knew that Hazelton had his arms wrapped around the ball, and when he hit the deck, if he just let it go just a little bit, he was going to get the penalty. There's no doubt in
Oh,
my mind that
100%.
he
But
knew that. But he played
The
rules.
ref, that's all they could do.
He had
But
no choice.
it wasn't Hazelton's fault we lost the game.
No.
Yeah.
He should have been won
he
well
was
before
awesome. We should have.
Question.
We shouldn't have went to golf.
Do you get another interchange in Golden Point?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you get 2. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because yeah,
Because they
definitely.
used 9. So I was just curious about that. The Tigers did, that is.
Yeah.
He's
So
7.
Yeah, he only used 7.
Must have been a lot of HIAs for us.
Fitzy was having a nap.
We had more than 7 interchanges, so it must have been a lot of HIAs. Anyway, I don't know. Apparently, I'm going down to watch them at Magic Round, but
Are you coming to that?
hey, I'm going Thursday, Friday. Sharks,
Yeah.
Sharks, Eels.
I'm going Friday night too, but
I
I won't.
know.
I'm not sitting with you.
No, well, I'm not sitting with you.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
good. Because I'm going for who are they playing? The Roosters?
Roosters.
You're going to go for the Dolphins, are you?
Hey,
We'll do our
oh, I hate the
we'll do our
Dolphins.
tips in a second.
All right. Oh, no, it's all right. We're going to have a look at the live ladder brought to you.
By my mum's good cooking.
All right, outright leaders.
Thanks, Mr.
outright
Thompson.
leaders. Team of the year, the Bulldogs.
Settle down.
Smash.
it was the loss they had to have. I think it'll steady the ship, course correct.
No, I think they're cooked.
One thing we noticed.
Well, they're going to be cooked for the next couple of weeks anyway because they got
Yeah, half
They
that.
got
team
you
there.
guys next.
Oh, I don't have a
they got
format.
us on the weekend, so good timing.
So we do know they can't really come from behind. That's what we learnt. Second place, Storm. Third place, Raiders. Fourth place, Warriors. Apart from the Bulldogs, probably what we would be thinking. Then we got the Broncos in fifth. They've come back up. We've got the Cowboys in sixth. The Sharks in seventh. And the Seagulls in eighth. Apart from the Panthers, we all probably...
Hang on, let me just scroll all the way down.
Oh, I found them.
There they are. Yep.
Yeah, so that's
point
your top eight.
to note, the Tigers are back into their preferred ladder position of ninth.
Nine.
So they're doing good. They're doing
Oh,
good.
the tickers.
I thought they liked right down the bottom.
All right, well let's we'll reset these cameras and we'll come back for our predictions for Magic Round.
Yep, see you guys. Alright, so the first game on Friday night, not Thursday, is Sharks versus Eels. Magic Round, Suncorp Stadium. I'll be there.
Can I just say, it sucks that we have to play Eels with Moses when everyone else didn't have to. It's like playing Manly with Turbo.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got to tip. I've got to tip
cool.
Eels.
You do not have to tip the Eels. You're choosing to tip the Eels. You don't have to.
And that's evident by the fact that you said Sharks first. I'm gonna tip Shark. I mean,
All right,
Cronulla wins.
Cronulla.
Eels.
I'll go Cronulla.
I'm also going to the Sharks. At this
No, I
point in time.
cannot tip with Nico Hines. Second game, Roosters, Dolphins.
Dolphins.
I'm going to go Roosters. I think.
Roosters beat them.
I think.
I'm gonna go Roosters.
No, Dolphins have been playing okay though.
I've gone Dolphins.
Yeah, like.
They gave up a 28 point. They gave up 28 points.
Yeah,
in
but
a row.
like.
It was a loss they had to have. It's a course correction. They're steering the ship
Yeah.
back.
Matt, I think you've made the right life decision there.
I think I have. I think you
life
did.
decision. I think it was just a comment.
Some Dolphins, Jed. Roosters.
Yeah, I'll go Roosters.
Dolphins, Jace.
The Roosters are somehow the favourites for this game.
Not by much, though.
6
Yeah, not
cents.
by much. Anyway.
I think the Roosters were too good last weekend. I'm going to stay there.
Yeah, but we can't be.
The bludger of the round.
Hang on,
no
Cal,
one
did you
goes to
say
this game.
Dolph or Roosters?
I said Roosters.
Roosters. All right.
Yeah, next game, I thought we'd do something different for this one. It's the Bunnies versus the Knights. Instead of trying to tip who we think is going to win, why don't we look at both the emblems for the Rabbits and the Knights and who would win out of a Knight or a Rabbitoh? And I think we make our tip that because it's going to be a bludger of a game and no one knows what's going to happen.
Well, if it's Knights in shining armour, then the Knights. If it's the Rabbit, like the Rabbit in the
He could get away.
Monty Python's Holy Grail,
Because
it'll be the Rabbit.
If you gave a Rabbit a sword, I still think the Knight would win.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the Knights.
I don't think the Knight could chase
But-
the Rabbit in all that armour.
Yeah.
But they're on a horse, Knights.
Did Latrell get suspended?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Knights
Rabbitohs.
Yeah, I'll still go Rabbits.
Rabbitohs win.
wins.
You go
Knight beats the
Rabbits?
Rabbit.
Yeah, I'll go
Latrell
Rabbits.
suspended.
Yeah, they'll play better without
Newcastle
Latrell.
are diabolical. Like they are like they're like a donkey with no legs.
I know.
Yeah, but I think they were the losses that the Knights needed to have.
Where do you find a donkey without legs? Right where you left it. You're welcome.
Okay, Knights then. I'm questioning my life choices now. I don't know, Knights. Next game, Warriors, Cowboys.
This will be a good game, I reckon.
I don't know how we're favourites. The Warriors have been playing outstanding football.
Can the Warriors win 3 in a row?
Outside of New Zealand.
Can they win? Can the Cowboys win
5 in a row.
5 in a row? That's the question.
Look, I'm going to tip with my heart on this and say up
Warriors.
the cows.
Warriors.
I will tip Warriors.
I'm going to tip Warriors in spite of the Cows because they suck.
Yeah.
I don't like the Cows this
What's
week.
actually going with the
Just
Warriors?
FYI, we ended the Titans seasons by putting 50 on them. That's why Matt's.
We let you. We
Oh,
let
sorry.
you.
They let us end their season.
We made you look good. Allowed
You
I'm
make
going
me look
to.
you. I do. Thanks,
I'm
Jeff.
going to go to the Warriors because you asked me. for my opinion.
I think this will be a really good game, though.
Yeah.
This
Who'd
will
you
be
tip?
the game of the
Who'd
round.
you
I'm going to tip Warriors.
Well, it's going to be egg on your face when we're all sitting here next week
Oh.
and we've won. So
It's
anyway,
actually a really hard one to tip.
Saturday, 7:45. No hard feelings.
All
You're
right.
allowed to tip whoever
Ready?
you want.
Tigers.
3, 2, 1.
Dragons.
Jeez, that's pretty. Okay.
We're,
Why are we all so confident in the Dragons?
we're on the same grain wave.
After last week, I hate the Tigers.
Did you see Lachlan Ilias has been dropped? Flano's dropping him.
I think it's finally about time. So who's they going to put in place?
I haven't heard. I
Chad
just
Townsend
saw
on loan.
But has Kyle Flanagan been playing any better than Lachlan Ilias?
He was alright on the weekend.
Yeah.
He was
If
okay.
you're
Didn't
his-
he score a try?
If you're his dad and his coach watching,
I'd be his dad.
Yes.
I
Billy.
think-
Kyle, I'll be your dad.
I
Give me a
think
call.
in his role, yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right. Titans versus. I
Are
said.
you ready?
I said
3.
Dragon.
No, this one.
Oh,
3, 2, 1.
Dogs.
Did you say Titans?
The Dogs have got 5 players out.
Oh, do they?
Burton,
Yeah.
Tupanua.
I've actually tipped Titans. I just wanted.
Ooh.
The Titans have 5 players out. Campbell, Foran.
Yeah, but they've been out all
You
season.
label. Doesn't matter. They're still out. That's why you're 14th.
I think.
No, we're 14th because we crap.
I'm going to have to wait for my team list to come out.
No.
For your team.
Make a call.
No.
They
I
email you.
think. I think the Titans.
Here you go, Jed, here's
This
yours.
has got to be their round, and I think the
Okay.
Bulldogs just can't play at Suncorp
Yeah, but
after
hey,
that
but
one experience.
they won last
Hey.
year
Oh.
at Suncorp.
Just-
Oh, did they? No,
Yeah.
I'm in now.
Just don't sit here next week and go, oh, my tips suck so much. When you come out making tips like this,
Alright,
Hey.
Titans.
Me.
I can understand why you tip Titans. It's your team.
You talking
I
about
can't help
Yeah,
myself.
you.
Oh,
I
I thought
never
you were
say
talking to
my
me.
tips suck. I just say I can't tip the
Because
Raiders.
if you're talking to me, we might have to go outside.
Why? Your tips suck. You said before your tips suck.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
Titans, Dogs.
Dogs.
Titans.
Titans.
You guys are nuts. They're at $4.10.
Yeah.
All right, Sunday
Dogs.
afternoon,
Oh,
Penrith versus
typical.
Broncos.
Broncos at Suncorp Stadium.
And it just happens to be an away game for them.
Here's a spanner in the works.
That was
though.
a joke. They're all at Suncorp Stadium, just for anyone watching at home. That was.
Yeah, like seriously. They are
Well,
the protected species.
It's a joke.
Why are they protected?
Who? Broncos?
Because they, okay,
They got wrecked 2 weeks ago by the ref.
I'll wreck you. Okay, so,
Okay.
Getting excited.
We're gonna have to put an
eh?
E on our YouTube.
like, they only have to go to Sydney 5 times this year. You know, like, and they get all these games like Magic Round, or they play the Dolphins, and it just happens to be
Jed?
at Suncorp.
How many times do the Roosters leave Sydney this year?
Yes, but they're a Sydney team. They're a Sydney team.
But doesn't
that's
matter.
like-
That's
every
not the
Sydney
Broncos'
team.
fault.
No, oh, you're not telling me the NRL.
But
like,
it's the same for the Cowboys and the Titans. We don't have to go to Sydney more than 5 times this year because we're based in Queensland.
Do you
Half
get to
of our
play-
games are at home. The rest are against other teams not located in Sydney.
Do you get to play away games at home?
No, but that's the deal with Magic Round. Where else would you play Magic Round?
No, but how come they don't get a home game ever? No.
I don't agree with the whatever's happening, but I do agree with
What is happening?
I do think that if the Broncos are playing Magic Round, it should be a home game for the Broncos.
No, so the reason why it can't be is because there's sponsorship involved. So when the Broncos play at home on a Friday night, they get 40,000 of their own fans. Granted, some of them will be away fans. That's money that the Broncos club gets to keep, okay? Right? So hang on, just let me explain it. This will help you understand why. At Magic Round, the Broncos don't get to keep the profits from the people that turn up to Magic Round. It goes to the Panthers. So the Panthers acknowledge this by saying, yep, we'll take one of our home games to Suncorp, we'll keep the takings. The Broncos don't get it. It's a money-based decision. It's not a fan-based decision.
But they've
it's
got a-
money-based.
I understand, but I still don't think that.
So, but then it's
that's-
You're talking
that's-
about the richest club in the NRL.
Yeah, but if it's unfair on the Broncos to make it a home game for them, they don't get to keep.
yeah,
the
because
keepings.
it's out of their favour. Like, of course.
No, but they will keep
But it's
whatever
not-
the Panthers
it's
are
not-
getting. They will get.
But it's not as much.
I know. I know.
Because half the fans won't be Broncos fans, so they won't sell as much merch. They won't sell
Oh,
as much.
poor
this or that.
Diddums. Poor
Oh.
Diddums for the richest club in the NRL.
I think it's harsh coming from a Roosters fan with Nick Politis at the helm. I think that's very harsh.
I have.
Yeah, but you've
I'm
got this
talking.
limited.
I haven't got. I'm not a Broncos fan.
I've heard. I understand the point, but it is still their home ground.
Yeah.
It is still their home ground.
I'm right, you're
They don't
wrong.
have to
Let's
travel.
move on.
Okay.
Broncos fans, send your Hayden.
Spanner in the works for your tips here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Suncorp Stadium. It's had the other game the other night. It's got trashed. This weekend it's going to get absolutely obliterated. We've had so much rain.
They're predicting
This
more
game,
rain.
this game is the second last game on Sunday. How does that favour? Who's better on a dirty
Well, a
track?
couple of years ago, Cowboys versus someone, and we played the last game of the round, and it was the same thing.
Yeah, but does that sway your tips? Do you think one team's going to be
I think
better than the other in those sorts of conditions?
it'll be played through the middle, and I think with the defence of the Panthers at the moment, I think the Broncos will roll them.
Yeah,
I'm
I
thinking
think
that
Broncos
too.
will roll them easy. Like, I can't believe that the Panthers are only paying $2.22. They should be about $8.
It's still the Panthers though,
Yeah.
so you're buying on potential.
Oh,
It's the
Does-
17th place. Pete.
you know.
Hey Jed,
Yes.
why does the grand final get to be played in Sydney every year?
'Cause
Why?
It's a bigger stadium.
Okay, so Magic Round is so suited at Suncorp Stadium because of Brisbane. So why is that unfair for the Broncos? Why do you get the home grand final if the Roosters make the grand final? Why can't it go?
We don't
to the other
play.
team?
We don't play the grand final at our stadium.
But you played in Sydney. It's a home game. So just a bit of perspective. I just wanted to bring that up because the episode finished.
Yeah.
That you don't go whinging that the Broncos don't get a home game. You get the grand final if you make it at your hometown every single year. If you
Except
make it.
2021.
End of story.
But it's not the stadium. We're talking about the stadium. Their home stadium. That's the difference.
Their home stadium was our Allianz, whatever the 80,000.
We never had.
was.
We never played.
It's still your home ground. You get the majority of Sydney people turning up. Don't start drawing technicalities on this when I gave you technicalities for Suncorp and the reason why Broncos don't get the home game.
No.
Yeah, you've got to swallow it. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, tips.
No.
I'm going to go Bronx.
Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos.
Broncos. Last game, Storm versus Raiders. Second versus third.
Whew. Can I just say, this game should be Friday night.
At
Yeah.
Suncorp,
Yeah.
We don't want this to be the last game on a
No.
Sunday with a dodgy field.
I honestly, if it was in Melbourne, I'd be tipping Melbourne. If it was in Canberra, I'd be, I don't know. At
Melbourne
Suncorp-
just aren't the team that we thought they were going to be, hey?
If there's any rain, I think the Raiders can do it.
Have you got long-term forecast?
No.
I think the Raiders have a better kicking game.
Fogarty's
But if the field's trashed and it's raining and they're punching it up
Yeah.
the middle,
Probably Raiders, eh?
Yeah.
you'd have to think Raiders because their forwards are on fire at the moment.
Because I know that this weekend, they get. Well, last weekend I think they had like a Union or one of those games.
Oh,
And then Thursday night you've got the Women's State of Origin, and then eight
Yes,
games.
I'm going to watch that.
8 games of footy. So
Is that Thursday?
yeah, that's
Yeah, well.
Thursday.
I'm going to tip the Raiders.
I'm going to tip the Raiders
Yeah, I'm
too.
thinking the Raiders too.
I think
Oh.
they're playing good footy.
I should probably tip the Storm to help you guys.
Yes, please.
Oh, you don't tip the Raiders, hey?
I tip them, I just can't tip them correctly.
Right. So what does that mean? What does that mean for us to win the tip? What do you need to
Well,
do?
I was going to tip the Raiders, so it means they're probably going to lose.
Yep. Go the Green Machine. That second
Up the
favourite team.
And that's it.
Yep.
for this
Manly have to
round.
buy.
Manly, they're off in Bali.
Unlucky.
Manly,
Unlucky.
Yep.
Bali
We're all
win.
going to Magic Round this weekend.
Yeah. Well, Saturday, Sunday for us, but yeah.
Yep. I'm Friday, Sunday. Yours Sunday.
Yep.
Yes, Sunday. So we'll see you guys at the game.
Well,
If you do see
Whatever.
Jed at the game, if you're one of our 61 followers, come up and tell him what you think about the Roosters, and Jed will be obliged and give you a bit of a conversation.
Yep. Are we taking photos and autographs?
Yeah, taking them or giving them. So, Both, probably both.
Come and give us your autograph.
Oh, yeah, this is a really good episode. There's lots of controversy.
This is a long
in
one
this.
too today.
So
That's all
I
right.
hope you enjoyed it. And feel free to comment if you disagree or agree or whatever. If you just hate the Broncos and you want to rip it on.
We would like to know your thoughts briefly on on the Broncos home ground situation. You've heard Callan expertly analyse it. You've heard my great opinion
As a
you've
non-Broncos fan too.
as a non-Broncos fan, and you've heard Jed rant.
Who hates the Broncos.
Okay,
So no, you're over. So why don't you just put a comment in there? But thank you, like and subscribe. We'll be at the game. We'll see you there, or we'll
Yeah.
see you next week. Have a great life.
Yep. See you guys.
Off the couch.